What is up, you guys? It's Blake and Logan, and we're always talking on this channel about how to grow your finances. Today, we're going to talk about how to give yourself a raise. Alright, so we might have hit you with a little bit of clickbait on this video.
But it's good clickbait.
It is good clickbait.
It's going to be good material here.
Yes, it is. It was how to give yourself a raise, and we're not actually literally talking about, like, getting more money.
Right.
But in essence, you will realize how much more money you really have.
Yeah, it's really insane, actually, when you take the time to sit down and study what you have and really look at it, look at what you're spending, look at what, everything, and get a budget together. No one likes that word.
Nobody likes
it. It's a scary word, but let me tell you, when you do this and you stick to it, you will find that you have more money than you really think you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is this app that we're going to be talking about. It's called Every Dollar. It's by Dave Ramsey. And that's where we got the phrase how to give yourself a raise, because he talked about, like, when you budget, it's like giving yourself a raise because you free up more money that you realize you're wasting and money that you're blowing on stuff you shouldn't be, and, like, realizing you could put more money into, crypto or a savings account or something like that.
Don't use a savings account.
Or grow your wealth that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of going and spending $20 on Taco Bell every day.
Right. Yes. So what we want to do is we're going to kind of walk you through 3 different things. And as we do that, we're kind of going to talk about how, it's kind of like how Logan has set up his budget. We won't give too much of details, but just kind of dive into it a little bit. So we're going to show you, that budgeting and and having a budget is you're going to know where your money's going. And so we'll start off with that one. You'll know where your money's going. You're going to realize how much you spend, and ultimately you're going to realize how much you waste.
Yes, because, like, before I started this budget, I always tried to, like, save as much as possible or, like, be cheap, really. I've always kind of been cheap.
Yes.
But, like, before I did this budget, I realized how much money I was even spending beforehand that I shouldn't have been, or money that, like, I could have been saving, really, because, like, my problem is food. I spend a lot of money on food, but I don't have to, but I do anyways, because, like, I'm always out and about, and I'm like, oh, I don't really have any big bills. Like, I got this money to buy food or whatever. So, like, that's really been one that's really kicked me in the butt, because, like, I think, what is today? Today's the 19th. I think the 15th, I already ran out of my budget for food for the month.
Wow.
Like I didn't realize really how much money, like, I was putting towards that, and, like, I shouldn't have been.
Yeah. So
I don't even want to know how much I was spending a month on food. I really don't.
Yeah, my wife and I, we sat down, we kind of done this for ourselves, and we learned that we the same category, we spent way too much on food. Because what we would do is we would go to the grocery store, buy all kinds of stuff, and then still go out to eat.
And that same day, spend $50 at a restaurant that night.
So it's like, why are we doing this? And we can do better. So, like, we got to figure out how, to budget this to make sure that we're not overspending eating out and we're buying groceries and actually using them. And when you do that, when you see where your money's going and you realize that how much you've wasted, you can make the correct changes and you end up with that raise that we're talking about. Because then you'll have more money than you really thought that you had, and
you realize what you can kick out, like what you're spending on that you just don't need to be.
Like to another story, we walked through our whole subscriptions one time, all of the subscriptions that we had,
because like $6. If you got 10
up.
Subscriptions or $6, that's $60.
Yes, I mean, we had a pretty decent sized paper, y'all. I mean, it's maybe a half a page, okay, but it was way too much. And we were like, we can cut this. We don't even watch anything on that. We can cut this. We could do this. We could do that. And, I mean, we saved ourselves, I want to think it was like $120 or something like that. We were like, what? How are we even spending that much on subscriptions? But if you don't know where your money's going and you don't have it put down in a budget, you lose control of it really easy. But so know where your money's going. That's the first thing, and that's what a budget helps you to do. And definitely grab the Every Dollar app, or there's an app called You Need a Budget. I mean, there's budgeting apps out there that you can use.
And I've really enjoyed Every Dollar. They have a premium version to upgrade to, but like I've not seen a need to. I don't really know what's in that. upgraded feature. A lot of the times you like lose access to some things if you don't, which is kind of ironic because like you're budgeting, but then like they have a thing to subscribe for. But like you really don't need it at all. I've not seen any. I don't even know what you're subscribing to when you do that, but like you don't need it at all.
Right. So that brings us to number 2. So if you know where your money's going, you've set a plan, you've put a plan in place. Every dollar, as Dave would say, has a name. Then you'll have more money to invest. And so that's where, this whole channel, it comes into play. We talk a lot about cryptocurrency. Well, if you don't have any money because you're wasting it on food, you're not going to have any money to invest.
If you go out to eat 3 times in a week, say you have a family like Blake does, and that bill's going to be like $50 or something. That's $150 a week that you could be putting into Bitcoin or something that would double or triple over time. And that's just money that like you could easily just pull back.
Yes. So you got to realize that if you do this and you're diligent and you stick with it, that you're going to have more money that you can invest at the end of each week or the end of each month or however you choose to invest. And isn't that what we all want? We want to have, more money. We want to invest and we want to build wealth. And how are we going to build wealth? Without knowing what's going on with our money and then realizing that we could invest more, which then leads to 3. Number 3 is that your wealth grows faster. And right?
Like I've said this before, like it does not matter how much money you make, it is how you spend it.
Yeah.
Because you could be a millionaire but live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
You could be a millionaire and not have any free money whatsoever. You could have a $5,000 mortgage. You could have 5 cars that are $500 a month each.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of doctors that I've heard of because I've watched Dave Ramsey's YouTube channel. To like they've got in debt. They're like $200,000 in debt from like doctor school, and like they're living paycheck to paycheck because they're having to pay that back. They're having to pay the expensive house they bought because they thought they had to because of how much money they're making.
Right.
And like they're really not making any money at all because they're spending it all.
Yeah. So like that's the problem where, in America and I'm sure worldwide is that, that keeping up with the Joneses. Look, we don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And I know that there were some people that back when we were talking about, like crypto earn and like living on a $70,000, $50,000 a year salary. And some people were like, well, that's crazy. I mean, I would want way more than that. But if you could, like, you're making that not doing anything, why not just live on that? Like, we have in this mind that our minds that we have to be so great and so mighty and have so many nice things.
I have to buy $250,000.
I have to buy
house.
5 cars.
I have to buy a brand new car.
No, you don't. Yeah. Like, be smart with your money, invest it, and then build wealth, grow, and just live comfortably and enjoy life and, not have to slave away forever because you were smart with what you were blessed with, if you want to use those terms. So, again, guys, if you want to raise, you don't even have to ask your boss for it, okay? If you want to raise, sit down, download the Every Dollar app, get a budget going, sit down with your family, get it going, and you'll know where your money's going. You'll realize where you're wasting money, where you now have money that you can invest, which is number 2, and then that wealth can just grow and grow. But if you're not willing to do that, you're not going to see that.
So I just have kind of an example budget set up. This isn't mine, but I've set up one just for this video. Say you're making $2,000 a month, which is not a lot, but just for example, $2,000 a month is $24,000 a year. Okay, so with every dollar, you have different categories. So you have your savings, your giving. Dave Ramsey's super big on giving to charity or church. You have your housing, where you have categories of like your mortgage, your water bill, your electricity bill, things like that. You have your transportation, which is gas, which is absolutely out the roof right now.
It is.
I'm going to have to raise my budget on that.
Yeah.
You have your food, which could be groceries or eating out or things like that. Your personal, which is clothes, your phone, your subscriptions. Your fun. I have a category called fun money for the month.
Yep.
Your lifestyle, which is like pet care, which I don't mess with pets. You have your health, which is your gym, your medicine, doctor's visits, insurance. You have your debt, which we want to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah.
It's just your credit card, car payment, things like that. So one that I've just set up. what I do is, he's big on an emergency fund too.
Yeah.
So like, you want to have money set back where if you did lose your job, you have an emergency fund that you could still pay like your house payment or your car payment or things like that.
Right.
So with this $2,000 a month, I have the $500 a month going to the emergency fund, and I have $500 a month going into crypto. Mm-hmm. So and this is for somebody that doesn't have a mortgage. I don't have a mortgage in here.
Right.
So like, this could be like somebody coming out of, like me, coming out of college with a job, still living with their parents or things like that. So I have that emergency fund, $500 a month, crypto, $500 a month. I have church was a $200 a month, which is 10% of that $2,000. You have for cable. I put $10, which is literally just Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You have your gas, which I put $200 a month, but that's probably going to be more closer to $300 a month. You have your phone, $75. Your fun money, $100. Your hair, I put $20, which would just be a haircut. You have that crypto, that's $500. Miscellaneous, $100. Because there's going to be things that like you don't expect to be paying for that's just going to pop up and come up. And you have your car insurance. And that's it. And like, and food, I put $200 for it. But like, and that's it. And if you just stick to that budget, like, you'll have all the money for that stuff. You'll have that $500, set aside. You have the other $500 set aside for crypto. And like, instead of like, if you don't stick to $200, say this person didn't stick to $200 a month for food, they could easily spend $400.
Right.
And like, their go is $200 of that emergency fund.
Right.
And like, it's so easy to get out of budget if you're really not sticking to it like this app does for you.
Right. So with every dollar, just to clarify, you put in all your income, and then you have all these categories, and you basically put out what needs to be in each category, and your goal is to give every dollar a name, which is why it's called every dollar. So at the end of your month of budgeting, which you have everything listed out, every single dollar that you make in income is accounted for in some sort of category.
Even if it's just like, say you had $300 left over that you didn't want to put in anything else, you just put like, extra $300 or like $300 going into checking account or something like that.
So, yeah, but I mean, why not? Why not give this a shot? I mean, especially if you are just starting in on this journey like we are, this is one of the best ways to kind of make sure you're getting some investment put in.
It's a good way for a broke boy to free up some money. It really is.
Exactly. So definitely look into this. Take our advice here on how you can give yourself a raise. We do hope this video has been very helpful for you. And remember, as always, to look at all the links in our description. There's so much goodies in there. You can get $25 in Crow for Crypto.com when you stake $400. You get free money with Coinbase. Our community's in there. You want to be a part of that? Yes. Click that link. Get in our community. Talk with us. Ask us questions. We are available to you. Like, this isn't just a one-way conversation. We want to talk with you. So jump into those things, and we will see you on the next video.
Catch you guys later.